Okay, we're back for quiz 52. This is the year anniversary. This is a full year's worth. I'm going to give you the scores out for last week, and we're going to have another round today. I tried to do it earlier on, had to delete it, and it was all like groups, names, or artists, like dingbats, and I had 8 of them. But when I recorded it and when I played it back, they're all back to front, so it wouldn't have worked. So I delete it. Right, here's the scores from last week. Billy and Margaret, well, they don't play this Sunday, so I never get their scoring time. So they'll come in with their score Monday or something, Sunday. Robert and Helen at 21, with John and Dawn at 21, Jean and Davy, 23, Andre, 21, Stevie and Rita at 27, but with a 28, Josie and Bill was last week's winner with a 28. So did I see Jean and Davy? Yep, 23. Right, we're going to start off in round 1. What's the longest river in the USA that is named after an animal? Okay. What's the longest river in the USA that is named after an animal? Number 2. What's the name of the American Detective Agency founded in Chicago in 1852? Number 3, gamophobia is a fear of what? Gamophobia. Number 4, a collective name for a group of rattlesnakes is named after a dance. Which dance? Okay, a collective name for a group of rattlesnakes is named after a dance. What's the name? Number 5. What's the most illegally got human organ? Okay, this is by a wide margin. It's not just a couple here and a couple here. What's the most illegally got human organ? It's on the black market and all that. Right. In May 1902, Mount Pelee, or Pelee, P-E-L-E-E, erupted, killing around 25,000 people. 2 survived in the town of Saint-Pierre. On which popular tourist island did this happen? Okay, so it was in May of 1902, Mount Pelee erupted, killing around 25,000 people. Only 2 survived. It was in the town of Saint-Pierre, or Pierre. On which popular tourist attraction did this happen in the island? Where was it? Okay, number 7. The TV series Bond of Gold was set in which northern English city? Bond of Gold. Which northern English city was it filmed in? Set in. Okay, here's wee one for you. Number 8. Who's the only person named Oscar to win an Oscar? Okay. Who's the only person named Oscar to win an Oscar? Okay, get your answers down a bit of paper, and I'm going to rewind it if you want to go back on some of them, because I'm going to give you out the answers. What's the longest river in the USA that is named after an animal? Snake River. What's the name of the American Detective Agency founded in Chicago in 1852? Pinkerton. Pinkerton Detective Agency. Number 3, gamophobia is a fear of what? Marriage. A collective name for a group of rattlesnakes is named after which dance? Rumba. And what's the most illegally got human organ? It's kidney. In May 1902, Mount Pelee erupted, killing around 25,000 people. This happened on the island of Martinique. And the TV series Bond of Gold was set in Bradford. And who's the only person named Oscar to win an Oscar? Oscar Hammerstein. Okay, Oscar Hammerstein. Stein. Okay, round 2. Which board game do you throw dice and burr off your pieces? Which board game do you throw dice and burr off all your pieces? Number 2. Who was king when the Magna Carta was signed? Here's a wee tricky one for you. I know Josie and Doug watches Fools and Horses a lot when it was on in their day. Only Fools and Horses, Uncle Albert's, his middle name was the same as UK Prime Minister. A surname, what was it? So Uncle Albert had a surname that was the same name as a UK Prime Minister surname. What was his Albert's middle name? Okay, his middle name was the same as a UK Prime Minister surname. So what was it? Number 4, Roy Orbison had 3 #1 hits. What was the last #1 hit he had? And the wee clue was it begins with O. Number 5, what hobby did Sherlock Holmes take up when he retired? What was the hobby did he take up, Sherlock Holmes? This one here will get you thinking here. The American Film Institute has a list of the 100 greatest actors of all time. In the top 10, there are 2 actors from the UK. If you get one of them, you get a point. I'm only looking for one of them. They were born in England. Okay. Which country had the most sending offs in World Cup? Okay. Which country has had the most sending offs in World Cup? And number 8, which president is associated with the phrase, "the buck stops here"? Okay. Get your answers down, and we'll give you the answers. Number 1, in which board game do you throw dice and burn off your pieces? Backgammon. Who was a king when the Magna Carta was signed? King John. Only Fools and Horses, Uncle Albert's middle name was the same as a UK Prime Minister's surname. It was Albert Gladstone. And Roy Orbison had 3 #1 hits. What was the last #1 hit he had, beginning with O? It wasn't Only the Lonely, it was Oh Pretty Woman. What hobby did Sherlock Holmes take up when he retired? Beekeeping. And the American Film Institute had a list of the 100 greatest actors, and out of the 100 greatest actors in the top 10, there was 2 guys that was born in England. They were Cary Grant and Charlie Chaplin. So if you had any of them 2, give yourselves a point. Which country has had the most sending offs in World Cup history? It used to be Argentina, but now it's Brazil. Brazil has 11 sending offs and Argentina has 10. Right, which president is associated with the phrase, "the buck stops here"? Harry S. Truman. Okay, we're on the round 3. Who is Joan Fontaine's famous actress's sister? Who's Joan Fontaine's famous actress sister? Okay, what was the German version of the French Maginot line? The Maggio line? Maggio? Was it Maggio? What was the German version of the Maggio line? Number 3, what's the name given to an outdoor swimming pool? Now here's one Billy Graves will probably get this one. He's probably only got a chance of getting this one. This is a tough one. What's the name of the group of street urchins who sometimes aided Sherlock Holmes? Okay, so what's the name of the group of street urchins that sometimes aided Sherlock Holmes? Number 5, when India qualified for the World Cup in 1950, why did they not play? Okay, here's a song lyric. In song, the women folk would hide. They'd hide when which man rode to town. Who was it? Who was this man who rode into town? The women folk would hide. They'd hide when which man rode into town. Number 7. Operation Barbarossa was the code name for the invasion of which country? And number 8. Which 1940 movie poster had the tagline read, "For anybody who ever wished upon a star"? Okay, so which 1940 movie poster tagline read, "For anybody who ever wished upon a star"? Okay, I'm going to give the answers. I'm going to pause that. Who is Joan Fontaine's famous actress sister? Olivia Nash. Not Olivia Nash. Olivia Nash. Olivia de Havilland. Olivia de Havilland. What was a German version of the French Maginot Line? It's the Siegfried Line, the one you hang your washing on, the Siegfried Line. And what name is given to the outdoor swimming pool? An outdoor swimming pool, a Lido. And what's the name of the group of street urchins who sometimes aided Sherlock Holmes? It was the Baker Street Irregulars. The Baker Street Irregulars. And went into qualify for the World Cup. They didn't play because they wanted to play on their bare feet. They had no boots and they weren't allowed to play on their bare feet, so they didn't play. In song, the women folk would hide. They'd hide when which man rode to town? Liberty Valance. Operation Barbarossa was the code name for the invasion of which country? It was the Soviet Union. It was a German invasion of the Soviet Union. So if you've said Soviet Union or Russia, give yourselves a point. And number 8, which 1940s movie poster had the tagline, "For anybody who ever wished upon a star"? It was Pinocchio. Okay, round 4. What is this, a music one? Yeah. Who was the first British girl to have 2 US number 1s? The first British girl to have 2 US number 1s. Okay, number 2. The Beatles walking across the zebra crossing on the Abbey Road album. What city is Abbey Road in? What city is Abbey Road in? That particular Abbey Road where they're walking across the zebra. Number 3. Ian Anderson was the lead singer in which group? Ian Anderson. And number 4. Shirley Bassey sang 3 James Bond theme tunes. It was Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and what was the third one? Shirley Bassey, she sang Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and what was the other James Bond theme she sang? Number 5. Who wrote the song I Shot the Sheriff? Who wrote the song I Shot the Sheriff? And which group took its name because they were all Man United supporters? Which group took its name because they were all Man United supporters? Number 7. What was the title of the song that Stevie Wonder sang about Martin Luther King? What was the title of the song that Stevie Wonder sang about Martin Luther King? And the last one on the music round. Between 1987 and 1990, at least one song written by which trio was in the top 40 every single week. That's for 3 years. They had a song, which trio had a song in the top 40 every single week for 3 years? Which trio of writers? Okay, get them answers down. And I'm going to give you your answers here. So if you want to pause it and go back on some of them, then I'm going to give you the answers. Here we go. Who was the first British girl to have 2 US number 1s? Petula Clark. The Beatles walking across the zebra crossing the Abbey Road. What city is Abbey Road in? It's in London. And Ian Anderson was the lead singer in which group? Jethro Tull. And Shirley Bassey sang 3 James Bond theme tunes. It was Goldfinger, Diamonds Are Forever, and Moonraker. Who wrote the song I Shot the Sheriff? Bob Marley. And which group took its name because they were all Man United supporters? Garbage. Only joking, Stevie, only joking. It was Simply Red. Simply Red it was. And what was the title of the song that Stevie Wonder sang about Martin Luther King? Happy Birthday. And between 1987 and 1990. At least one song written by which trio was in the UK top 40 every single week. It was Stock Aitken and Waterman. Okay, right, the game scores are up. We're going to go to the final round. And last week I asked which famous author wrote, was it Swallows and Amazons? And I gave the wrong answer. I don't know why, I must have been looking at something else. And I said Ransack or something, or something like that. It was Ransom, Arthur Ransom. So, in case you're wondering last week, that was a mistake there. Okay, the final round. Chernobyl, remember the nuclear accident in Chernobyl, which has been the worst nuclear accident. But before that there, in 1957, the world's worst nuclear accident was in the UK, but whereabouts in the UK was the big nuclear accident in 1957, which was the world's worst then, up until Chernobyl? Where was it? What comes next? I'm going to give you a sequence of 5 colours. I want you to tell me what comes next, okay? We've got red, blue, white, black, orange, and what's after that? Okay, so what colour comes next, or colours? Red, blue, white, black, orange. What's next? Right, which currency do they use in Cuba? What's the currency they use in Cuba? Number 4. On Groundhog Day, what does a groundhog look for when he comes out of his hole? He comes out looking for something. On Groundhog Day, when usually they come out. But what's he looking for? Number 5. The BBC drama series Vigil. Where did most of the action take place? Okay, where did most of the action take place on the BBC drama series called Vigil? I think I may have asked this one before. At the Battle of the Bulge, when the Germans told Army General Anthony McAuliffe to surrender, what was his famous reply? Okay, at the Battle of the Bulge, when the Germans told Army General Anthony McAuliffe to surrender, what was his famous reply? Number 7. In the children's reign, seeing 5 magpies is the sign for what? Okay, in the children's reign, seeing 5 magpies is the sign for what? Okay, and the last one around is, what's the motto for the Salvation Army? What's the motto for the Salvation Army? And don't forget to let me know what you've got, the scores you've got. Anybody else that logs on and sees us on YouTube, let me know what the scores you've got. You can leave a wee comment in the box or something on YouTube and sort of can see it. I'll give you a mention of the top 20. Everybody I've got software 20. Okay, in 1957, where in the UK was the world's worst nuclear accident up until Chernobyl happened? It was in Cumbria. And what comes next in the sequence are red, blue, white, black, orange, black and white. It's Greyhound Traps. The numbers in the traps, and the 6 traps in UK Greyhound racing. If you go to Australia now, you get 8. Okay, the colours are a wee bit mixed up. Okay, what currency do they use in Cuba? It's a peso. And on Groundhog Day, what does a groundhog look for when he comes out of his hole? He's looking for his shadow. And the BBC drama series Vigil, where did most of the action take place? On a submarine. And at the Battle of the Bulge, when the Germans told General Anthony McAuliffe to surrender, what was his famous reply? Nuts! Nuts! He said nuts. And the children's reign, seeing 5 magpies is a sign for what? Silver. Remember the wee programme Magpie, 1 for sorrow, 2 for all that there. Right. Number 8, the motto for the Salvation Army is what? Blood and fire. Okay, it's blood and fire. Get the answers down, and if you remember, let me know what your scores are. I'll give them out in the next programme, and enjoy your weekend. I'll have this up tomorrow, so or Friday. So enjoy your weekend. See you soon.